Do you feel behind? Are you neurodivergent or maybe just more spiritually awakened, but you want to live your life purpose versus just surviving in society? I think a lot of us do, but today I'm going to draw some cards on this idea of being behind in society. So as I shuffle, I want to discuss why I'm bringing this up in the first place, why I feel the desire to discuss it. I'll link a YouTube video by another YouTuber who discusses this idea of being behind as an autistic person. But I think regardless of whether you are autistic or neurodivergent, or you just relate to the idea of having this second adolescence because you got behind in society somehow, I think you will relate to it. Because sometimes you feel like two different people. And this is something I started putting the puzzle pieces together with, but I didn't know how to verbalize it before I saw this video, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. So I want to try to get answers for those of us who relate to this idea. And I am a tarot reader, card reader, intuitive guide. If you want to know more about me, more about my services, and want more videos like this, like, subscribe, comment if you wish. So these are really interesting. These are all major arcana cards already. So we're starting with potential. And this is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot deck. It's a sort of traditional but non-traditional tarot deck. So potential, that's the equivalent to the Fool, is the first card of the major arcana. And it basically means venturing out on a new journey or starting a new cycle, new journey, something like that. And then the second card is the Mystic, which I believe is the equivalent of the Hierophant, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a little bit different because it discusses this idea of straddling two different worlds, which is actually pretty crazy, considering I said you feel like you're two different people sometimes. And this is really interesting because it has the two different moons, and it talks about the subconscious and the unconscious. I mean, the unconscious and the conscious. Words are hard. And straddling these two different worlds and creating like a balance. And then we have the High Priestess, which is last. That's still the same traditional tarot card. The art in this deck is really beautiful. But I just want to read what this deck says about this one because I always forget what this one means. And sometimes this deck has different definitions, but, and I am neurodivergent, so sometimes it's just harder for me to remember stuff. I need like a little reminder, and then my brain goes off. Okay, so it's very much about divine intuition, divine feminine, whether you love or hate that word. So what I'm seeing here in regards to feeling behind in society and this feeling of being two different people and wanting to catch up, wanting to be authentic and live like your most spiritual life, which is really what I try to do, is that, and this is where intuitive messages come in. It feels like there's a group of souls who came in, and their purpose was to go on this new path, this new venture, to try and straddle two different worlds in order to learn certain lessons, but also to it's also to it's to what is the word I'm looking for? I'm so sorry. Okay, so it's also to balance the imbalances is the only thing I can think of right now. It's like looking at all of the ugly, not so great stuff that's happening in society right now, and toxic masculinity. Like there's a lot of toxicity coming from many different places right now, but the whole idea of colonization, misogyny, MAGA, things like that, like this extremeness that's been coming in, and it's not just in America, it's in many parts of the world right now. I don't know, but it might be worse here. Uh, we need people with different functioning brains to move in the world, but then come back and like re-examine their lives. It's almost like parallel to what happens after you die. And instead of dying and like reviewing your life in the cliche life review thing, you stop in the middle of your life or wherever you are. You might be in your 20s or your 70s, and you're like, hold on a second, what is actually happening here? Because this is not how it should be. And then you get this chance to reevaluate everything. You're understanding yourself better. For some of us, I am autistic with ADHD, and I wasn't diagnosed until last year. I'm in my late 30s, and it's like it really is this complete reevaluation of your life, and you're like trying to figure out who you actually are aside from all the masking. And masking is not strictly an autistic thing. It's a variety of neurodivergent people, but also people in society. Like it's a coping mechanism, not not just in autistic people. But um, let's see if I can get any other messages about this. And I thought I had a specific question to follow up with, but it just left my brain. Okay, so this first one is from Raven Philan's. I don't know how to say their name, but let me know if you do. Raven Philan's Messenger Oracle cards. So be without malice. It's a very pretty one. And you were born to create. And I think neurodivergent people, because we tend to know that we are different and we tend to be bullied or marginalized for it. And we know what it's like to be like on the outskirts of society and not fully accepted. It's just like this innate understanding that we're a little different or off. Um, and I feel like this gives us an edge of more empathy and emotional intelligence than somebody who's not neurodivergent or hasn't gone through as many struggles in life. So it gives us this edge where we can look at society and kind of figure out what needs to change. And then you were born to create, like that's pretty self explanatory. But in this sense, it is about creating a new world. So, creating a new world by going back, looking at our lives, trying to figure out where we can do better and how to help other people break the cycle. I'm going to do one more card and then end this because it's getting a little bit long. I have no idea what this card is. I've never gotten it before. Mintaken. Mintaken? Let me know how to say this. Longing for home, belonging. Oof, the original light workers. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of weirdly on point. The original light workers. I just want to read what this says because this is one of the few ones I've like never read. Mintaken. It's in the whatever a transmission card is. It's a transmission card. I make fun of this stuff a lot. Like I'm constantly living the woo-woo life, but I make fun of it so much. So Mintakins are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. That's very specific. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth. Original light workers. Blah blah blah. They're here. They are here to teach us the potential in everything in the light in all beings. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now, to choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. I don't know, I think that says it all. So I'm going to end it here. If you relate to any of this, just let me know so I can make more videos like this. My tarot readings are going to be different. They're not I'm not going to be doing like love readings all the time. Maybe I'll do that at some point, but mine is going to be a lot more hard hitting. So if you want that, follow me. But the whole idea of colonization, misogyny,